In the 12 years American forces have been fighting in Afghanistan, we've learned a lot about the war, but we haven't seen much about what life is like for ordinary Afghans, the violence, the poverty, and the fear of the Taliban. About a year ago, we began to hear stories of a massive migration out of Afghanistan, a journey being made by thousands of Afghan children, some as young as 9 years old. They often spend years on the road trying to make it to Europe. To get there, however, they have to survive what might be one of the most difficult and dangerous journeys in the world.
The story will continue in a moment.
You see them all over Europe, small groups of Afghan boys searching for a better life. Tired and hungry, these Afghan kids are on a Greek island trying to find a bus to Athens. Just one more stop on a journey that's already taken some of them years. Police find them hidden under floorboards in vans or smuggled in secret compartments in trucks. Kids fleeing Afghanistan now make up one of the largest migrations of children in modern times. Starting in Afghanistan, the boys go through Pakistan, Iran, then Turkey and Greece and onward to countries throughout Europe, what can be a 10,000-mile journey across 6 mountain ranges and 2 seas. Over the past year, we've interviewed dozens of Afghan boys at various stages of their journey. Though they come from all over Afghanistan, their stories of why they're leaving are strikingly similar.
In Afghanistan, they're all bullets, guns. People used to kill people for no reason.
I couldn't follow my dreams there.
I didn't have any future.
We are not safe in Afghanistan. You know the condition. There is always there is a killing, bomb blasting.
Ali Hassan's father was killed in Afghanistan. He fled with his 2 sisters and brother when he was just 11 to Iran, where he began working in a market.
We came from Pakistan to Iran illegally. Then me and my 2 sisters and my small brother.
He worked for 2 months in Iran until the day he found out his siblings were caught by authorities and deported.
My neighbors, they told me that police came here and took your family and they deport to Afghanistan because we don't have any paper. So I'm nervous, I'm crying.
You didn't know where they had been sent?
I don't know anything. I was thinking that if I go to Europe, maybe one day I will find my family and I will bring here. We will live a better life. If a person lives with his family, it's the best life ever. If a person live lonely, like me, like other boys, it's too difficult.
He says an Iranian man he worked for in the market paid a smuggler to bring him to Europe. The journey would take 4 years. At one point, he was hidden in a refrigerated truck.
We are in freezer. 2 days, 2 nights, and 4 hours. I was in container. After 52 hours, I'm totally freezed. I can't shake my hand, my foot. On that time also I was thinking that maybe I will die.
You thought you were going to die?
We are like animals for smugglers. And they slapped us. Shut up, sit down. Otherwise I will kill you here, no one knows.
And you believe them?
They have big knife. They have guns. For money they can do anything. For money.
Money fuels this migration. Some kids, like these Afghan boys who are employed in a bakery in Peshawar, Pakistan, have to work for months or even years along the way to pay the smugglers. The trip can cost as much as $15,000. Many of the boys who leave come from Afghan families that have land they can sell to pay for the trip.
Most of the world feel that after 10 years of intervention in Afghanistan, things have got so much better. Whereas actually most children there don't go to school. They don't have any future. They don't see any hope.
Alexandra Fazina is a British photojournalist based in Pakistan who spent 5 years documenting these journeys. She's creating an ongoing photographic record of some of the thousands of boys who left Afghanistan last year.
This journey that they're embarking on, which is of course highly dangerous, is almost symbolic of just how desperate people are over there. I mean, all along the route, of course, the boys are very, very vulnerable. They are robbed, they are kidnapped, but many of them are actually being kept by some of the smugglers as sexual slaves.
Wazir Gul's family sent him out of Afghanistan at 13 to escape the Taliban. He says he often saw smugglers sexually abusing boys.
I haven't been raped, but other boys with me were raped.
What would happen?
The smugglers used to drag the boys out from the room and hit them with a pistol or with a knife. The boys couldn't do anything. The smuggler then would do whatever they wanted to do.
Hamid, who asked us not to use his real name, crossed Iran with little food and at one point in the journey hid underneath a moving truck.
You remember everything that in your life, when you're in that moment that you think that you're going to die, you remember everything.
He was arrested in Turkey for illegal entry and jailed when he was 15. So you're 15 and you're in an adult jail?
Yeah.
What was the worst part about the prison?
To not seeing outside. I think so, because I was about to go crazy in that jail. Because it felt so, I don't know how to describe, but I felt like a dead person.
He managed to escape and fled to Greece. But getting into Greece is one of the riskiest parts of the journey. Smugglers save money and time by taking the boys, most of whom don't know how to swim, at night in small boats. This overcrowded boat was intercepted by the Greek Coast Guard.
Stop now!
Many boys die on the crossing. Several months ago, 21 Afghans drowned off the Greek island village of Mytilene. Their bodies and the few possessions they had washed ashore. We went to Mytilene's cemetery and found their graves. No one knew the boys' names, so they were simply assigned numbers. The sole survivor of the accident is a 17-year-old Afghan named Murtaza. It was his 9th attempt to cross into Greece.
This is what I would say to the boys still in Afghanistan. Don't come towards Europe. It's 100% death.
Europe is not what many of the boys expect. In Greece, where economic turmoil has fueled riots, there's little sympathy for unaccompanied Afghan minors. The government rarely grants kids asylum. Police routinely throw them into detention centers like these with adults.
I was with adults bigger than me.
Hyatt was just 9 when he was detained in Greece.
They took us to a prison and they took the other people's fingerprints. They didn't take mine. They told me you're too small to take your fingerprints.
After 60 days, he was released and told he needed to return to Afghanistan.
He gave us a sheet. He said, you have to get out of this country in that day. If you don't, we can catch you again and then deport you.
Hyatt managed to escape to England. He's now 11 and has been granted asylum. Ali Hassan got stuck in Greece for months. He was never arrested, but says he was beaten by police in the port city of Patras.
They beat us a lot.
Why did they beat you?
Why you are here?
That's what they were asking.
They are not thinking that I'm a 14, 15-year boy. I'm a small boy. They have a big shoes. It's very heavy. They are very big. And they beat us a lot.
As difficult as the journey is, very few ever willingly turn back. Even when they're forced to scrounge for food and sleep in abandoned buildings and parks. Parents rarely learn the truth of what their children are going through. They can't tell them the truth.
No, the truth is very much hidden. When they do ever phone home, they would never tell their family. I'm really having a hard time here, because often the families have paid so much money and put everything they have, at, their property, their land is at stake for the future of this one child, that they're never going to tell them that, no, we really are in a bad condition and we really need some help.
If the boys can't prove their age or the details of their story, in many European countries, they'll be deported. Wazir Gul, who says he escaped Afghanistan to flee the Taliban, made it to England, but unable to prove his age and details of his story, it's unlikely British authorities will allow him to stay. If the British government says you can't stay here, what will you do?
I have no choice but to kill myself here.
You wouldn't go back?
If I go back to Afghanistan, I know I will be killed, so I wait. It's best to die here.
The country that grants asylum to the highest percentage of unaccompanied Afghan minors is Sweden, a place that is about as far removed from Afghanistan as possible. Over the years, the journey for thousands of Afghan teens has ended here in Stockholm's central train station. Moved by their plight, the Swedish government has granted the teens asylum, giving them free accommodations, education, even financial support to begin new lives. Last year, nearly 2,000 Afghan minors were granted asylum here. Hamed was one of them. He's now enrolled in high school. So is Ali Hassan, who's 15 and already fluent in Swedish. After 4 years on the road, he now lives near Stockholm in a government-run group home with other Afghan boys.
Swedish people is, for me, the best people. For me, they feel us.
They feel you.
When they look, they are laughing. They are like, "Hey, how are you?" This is the goodness of the Swedish people. They are feeling us.
Ali Hassan just discovered that his brother and sisters, deported from Iran 4 years ago, are alive and living as refugees in Pakistan. He doesn't want them to make the same difficult journey he made, but hopes one day they'll all be reunited.
I'm thinking that now I am alive. Now I am alive, that my heart is beating now, because something I hear that my family is alive.
You felt alive because you knew for the first time that they were alive.
Now I'm going to school and I'm trying to learn something, to do something for my family, for myself. Nothing else.
It's nice to see you smile.
Thanks.